Okay, so this is our team culture, the team page. And so we've kind of gone through most of this. Just remember that, I love the last point here is never let team pages replace your face-to-face communication. Remember, your team page is to build community. It's to connect all your people together. And y'all, I love seeing how my team, like sidelines, they support each other. They help answer questions. They share testimonials. But you as a leader should be having one-on-one coaching calls with your team. You should be talking on the phone with your level 1s and 2s and 3s. You need to have that face-to-face interaction. If you're in the same town, still have lunches and dinners and breakfasts and trainings. Just don't think like, okay, I'm doing my team page, I'm checking that leadership box off, and I'm done. You need to make sure you stay engaged, personally engaged with all your team members. So right here, we created this little graphic. You can take a picture real quick with your phone, or, we're going to probably post it in the comments if you're on team page, of team page video props. Now, you heard me say previously that your team should see your face at least once a week. So I vividly remember when I first started, Andrea Mitchell, who is one of our Diamond Uplines, she made like a quick little 5-minute video on 531. And it really helped explain, because I didn't know what 531 was. And so it explained it. Well, once I started growing my team, I could have shared her video, which I probably did. However, my team didn't know Andrea. She's a friend from Texas, so my friends didn't know who she was. They didn't join per se for Andrea. They joined because they were up under me. So I literally took that clip and I remember writing down what she said and I rehashed it. Now, it probably wasn't as great as Andrea's, but I put it in my own words. And so that way I all of a sudden became a leader in my team's eyes. I wasn't just always using other diamonds and, just because you're not diamond, and at that point I was probably gold or maybe even silver. I wasn't a high ranking ambassador, but I started making my own videos. Quick, short, not polished, probably my hair was not brushed and no makeup video. So here's just a list of prompts for you to follow. Again, you might have your own, but this is just to help you. 531, power of 3, 3 ways to buy, back office tips, Facebook tips, just a quick okay, Facebook tips, Friday, I want to share some tips with you. Importance of Plexus swag. I remember I did this last year with baseball season, and I just got on there real quick and made a quick video of why it's so important to wear your Plexus shirt and stuff to the ball field. That's people, you can't take for granted that people remember these things, or they know these things. Okay, make sure you're drinking your water out of your Plexus cup at school. If you're a teacher, guys, that will get your whole school knowing that you're a Plexus ambassador. Creating a friends list. How to search team pages is key, guys. I probably put that I redo that one probably once a month or every 6 weeks. How to create graphics. Again, if you don't know how to create graphics, you might go find somebody else's. And how to take your products. I think this is great. This could be 15 different videos. Tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to do this. While I'm mixing up my Slim, I'm going to real quick Facebook Live how I mix up my Slim, how I drink my Slim, give them directions, how I take my X Factor in the morning with my Slim. Tell people how you're taking your products and the do's and don'ts. Again, these are just small clips, nothing serious, but just really to get you in leadership position in front of your team. Anything to add to this, Rob?
Yeah, I love all these. And if I just 2 things. If you are like me, you like to write things down, keep a notebook, like a running list of video ideas. So when something comes to your mind, just jot it down. If you can't do a video right then, but you want to think of it later, I did that today. I wrote a video idea down. And don't be discouraged if you are posting things on your team page and nobody's really liking anything or commenting. We've all been there. Sometimes still there. We post something and it just was an awkward time to post and nobody saw anything. Don't let that discourage you. It's just like posting on your personal page. Just keep on posting, because eventually things will click, light bulbs will go off, and they will still start watching these things and comment on these things. So put them up there. You never know who's going to catch it and just run with it.
And I think just when you're doing your team page, you have to remember that it's a process, and people are watching. Just like your public thing.
Yes.
Just because they're not liking and commenting, they see whether or not you're active. And it's almost like clocking in. I've used this illustration before. It's like clocking into work. Like you wouldn't, I mean, a teacher wouldn't go in and go to her, closet and not deal with the students, like because the students wouldn't know she was there. Just because you might be working Plexus, but unless you put yourself in front of your team, unless you post on your team page and you're clocking in and you're showing your team you're working, no one knows it. So you've got to make yourself visible to your team. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next is your vibe attracts your tribe. So this is really talking about just your words, the way you say things, your tone. And guys, I'm the worst. If you ask my husband, he's like, sometimes my tone can be, my words are fine, but my tone is bad. I think y'all can all probably relate to that, I hope. And just, again, excitement is contagious. What are you attracting? Are you getting a bunch of negative Nancy's on your team? Is your team complaining a lot? Are they, I don't know, just it's always like doom and gloom and the sky is falling? If so, I would really look inwardly and say, okay, what am I portraying to my team? Now, again, everybody has certain type of people on your team. You can't help it. But I really think that you have to look inwardly and think, okay, how can I use my words, use my emotions to lift my team up? So we're going to give you a couple of scenarios of just, what this really looks like real day-to-day things that we deal with on our team pages and with our team. So Lindsay, give your first example.
Okay, Julia's so good at this because she claims it as negative undertones, things that aren't coming out and they're actually not saying they're negative, but they kind of have a negative feel underneath. So, for example, let's say that we have a coupon out. Yay, we have a coupon from the company, but for some reason, it's not working. People are typing it in, it's not working. Something's going on. Instead of saying on your team page, attention, emergency, guys, the coupon is not working. Stop any of your payments. Stop any of your customers from going through and ordering. Let me see what's going on, and I'll get back to you. Yes, it's helpful. It's information. It's letting them know. But you could turn that a true situation that the coupon was not working and turn it around and make it some kind of a positive, letting your team know what's going on. Cute little graphic, cute little graphic that says technical problem, like something cute, and then to say, hey guys, there seems to be a little glitch going on with our system. I will keep you posted as soon as the company tells us what's going on and how to fix it. I'll be the first to let you know! Exclamation point, smiley face emoji. Thankfully, we work for a company that always makes it right and always goes above and beyond to fix anything! Exclamation point. So you took the same situation that could be potentially like a 911 situation and made it into, guys, everything is fine. It's calm. I know what's going on. I'm here to help you. As soon as we get some information, I'll get it to you. So it's almost like I always tell my team, like, you're the mama bear. You're protecting that team family. Everything is under control. We got it. It's good to go. So taking that same situation and making it positive and not so 911.
Right. And I love that. We deal with that a lot because, I always hear, we know there's issues, there's bumps in the roads, and we have, issues come rise up, but it's all about how we react to it.
Yes.
And I think it's very important with your team to let them, to relate to them, to let them know you understand. You understand it's an annoyance, that the coupon code is not working. It's not like we're saying it is working. We're just saying we understand, but let's look at the positive. We are going to figure this out. And like I always say, our company is amazing. They always make things right. I've never once in 2.5 years seen them not make something right. So I'm always reminding people of that because it's the truth. And I want to make sure our culture, our vibe is always positive because, guys, our company is amazing, and there's no reason to think anything less. So another example that I think of is, and I've seen this on some team pages, of maybe, let's say even for today, it's January, 17th, 18th, it's starting, past mid-month. nobody's joined my team. I was hoping to rank up this month, but doesn't look like I'm going to because a few people white line. So in my mind as a leader, like, I mean, this is not a good month. And I mean, I just don't know. So I'm going to, everybody else on my team must be having a bad month too because they're not adding anybody. So you want to go on. And I think it's coming from a place of you're caring and you're wanting to relate to your team and you're wanting to lift them up. But again, it has that negative undertones because if you go to them and you make a live video and you're like, hey team, I just want to tell you to stay encouraged, keep pushing hard and don't stop, don't give up, don't quit. We can do this. We're going to make it to the top. These hard times aren't going to last long. We're just going to keep going and we're going to keep pushing. And, again, that video they're trying to be positive. But what your team hears is, wait a minute, should I be discouraged? Wait, it's a bad month? I thought I was having a good month. I was posting consistently. I've had a few people tell me they're interested. I mean, nobody signed up, but I thought it was a good month. But here my leader is telling me that I need to don't get discouraged. Should I be discouraged? Like, you're putting doubt in people's mind that it was never there. You're putting fear. You're putting, I'm trying to think of the right words. I mean, just things in people. You're creating a picture that they should be worried almost, where really, if that's your situation, because y'all, that's an honest situation. People get in that situation that you're not adding people that month and maybe people have white lines. That's a real situation. So how as a leader can you address that and make it more positive and in a more uplifting way? And what my suggestion is to go on and say, hey guys, I want to tell you about the Power of 3. The Power of 3 changed my business because when I first started, I thought, how in the world am I going to get gold? I don't know 20 people. You know what? I know 3 people. And so I focus on 3 people, and I want to challenge you to focus on 3 people. We all can add 3 people. The Power of 3. And if I add 3 people, and she adds 3 people, and then she adds 3 people, then I'm gold. And tell them about the Power of 3. Watch Sheila Medina's. Watch one of my past videos, and give them the action step to get them past maybe what you see as a rut. Because in a way, as leaders, we're kind of big brother. We kind of see it all. You know what your team is struggling with, but you don't want to do it in a way that you're just trying to give them, I guess, quote unquote, positive words of affirmation, but then yet no action, and you're not keeping it positive. Because when they get off of that call or that video of the Power of 3, they're going to come off and just say, oh my goodness, Power of 3, I can do that. That's very simple. That gives something attainable. I'm ready to go. That's going to pump them up. They're not getting doubts that, oh my goodness, maybe I should be discouraged because I haven't signed anyone up, or anyway, So does that make sense, Lindsay, what I just put there?
Yeah. Turn the situation around.
Turn the situation around. So, okay, y'all can laugh, but we have a list of Plexus curse words, or cuss words if you're from the South. We think that's a Southern thing. Plexus curse words. These are words that should never, ever be allowed out of a leader's mouth. Now, before I go over this, or before Lindsay goes over this, I do want to say, we understand that you feel some of these emotions, other than the first one. Quit should never be part of your vocabulary. But we understand sometimes there's discouragement. You're scared. You're busy. You're overwhelmed. Like Lindsay and I, we talk. And you should always complain if you must up. Go to your upline, never to your sidelines, because y'all, that's what kills team culture. If you start complaining to the side. Never, never, ever to your downline. These words should never come out of your mouth. And I'll be honest, I know for me, and this is just a personal thing, even when I'm going up and telling my upline, like, oh my goodness, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so discouraged. My points aren't where I wanted them to be. Honestly, even though I'm complaining up, it affects the way I lead down. Because, and I know there's sometimes that you need to get it out, but I will just encourage you to check again, it goes back to character. Is it true character? If you're always complaining up, that's really showing you what your character is. And I promise you it's seeping down. So just make sure there's a balance there. Not to say you can't have a bad day, because we all have bad days, but we need to be careful about the words we choose. So Lindsay, let's go over these curse words and why we don't want to use them with our team or with anybody side or below.
Right. Well, I like how Julie said, sometimes you might feel exhausted. This is not saying that you don't feel these things. It's just changing those words around and definitely not using them. I mean, I'm sure we all have words in our home like you don't use that kind of have that sting feeling. Like we use the word fanny and honey instead of like B-U-T-T. You're protective of. Same thing, like you just are not going to say those things to your downline in a post, in a video, in any kind of, again, we just want to protect that team culture. We want to protect that place. We want to make it a positive, not that you're not aware of what's going on and they're not aware of what's going on. We're like that duck that's over water, like on top of it. We're fine. Sometimes things may be going crazy underneath it. Sometimes the coupon may not be working, but we're not going to say, oh, I'm so frustrated. This is not working. We might feel that way, but we're just going to protect it. And y'all can read these. There's some, it sounds silly, but some of them really are true. And if you feel like you have to say that to your upline, you can even say, I'm going to start saying, my cup might be a little bit too full right now. If I'm going to say this to Julia, you know what? I can't do that. I'm not going to say I'm too busy. I'm going to say my cup's a little full today, but let me do that. Let me do this instead. I'll give you a great example. My calendar was packed with things that I could not get something done for one of my teammates, and I wanted to get it done. So instead of saying, you know what, I am so overwhelmed, I cannot do this, I said, you know what, I've got something I've already committed to that day. I cannot do that, but I can do this instead. So truth be told, I really had a lot going on. I couldn't do it, but I just changed my words and changed my attitude about it, and it was really such a great situation. So just kind of putting this in the forethought of your mind. And again, y'all, if y'all have said these things or posted stuff like this is not like a slap on the wrist. It really is. This is just making you kind of aware of how this could affect people that are on your team that are looking to you.
So again, we can share this graphic or you can take a quick picture if you want it. So, okay, culture, how to get to know your team. This is, to me, Lindsay's specially spiritual gift right here. So he's going to kind of explain it and I'll just kind of chime in.
Okay, so y'all, there are tons and tons of resources out there that I can give you. You can look and dig for. But to me, this is one of the most fun things is to get to know your team personally, because it's not only, I think about it this way, when you're adding new team members, you're not just in the trenches with your team. You're not just paying yourself first. You're not just increasing your paycheck, and that's what that's one of the things that we're here for. We're here for financial freedom. You're not just doing that. You are tapping into some really amazing talent that you may not know that it's out there, and they may not know it's in them. So I love getting new people on my team and getting to know them and get to know the things that they're good at. I'll be honest with you, I have level ones that are every single color. Some are super, super strong in one, and some have a little bit of all of them. But it's so much fun seeing, and if y'all don't know about the 4 colors, there's definitely some videos and resources we can tell you some more. But my reds, I know that they don't need a lot of sugar coating, lots of details. They just need me to send them information, give it to them. They don't need it sugar coated. They just need me to give them the answer and give it straight. I'm not really like that. So I've had to really make myself be like that and just say it and just bend towards them how they need information. Okay, I have lots of greens. I have greens that like lots of videos. They like lots of posts. They like lots of deep nitty-gritty information. So I know when I sign up someone and I'm finding that they like a green, hold on just a second. Hold on, let me close this door. That I might can send them 3 videos at one time instead of just 1 on the comp plan. They like all that information. Their blues, I have one that is so blue. She's so fun. And she just she can take a few little chunks at a time. She can't take a whole lot. She's like, oh, I can't handle all this. Just give me all the little bit chunks at a time. So a little bits and pieces at a time. So just getting to kind of know how they respond to things. I love this graphic if y'all can see them. You can kind of start picking up on things. Look and see what they respond to on your team pages. Look and see and ask them questions like, hey, would you rather me send this to you in a video? Do you like videos? Do you like to read things more? You tell me what you like. And you'll probably start picking up on this right in the beginning, what things they're responding to. Especially if you don't know them prior to Plexus. You don't know them close enough prior to Plexus. But then, so that's their colors. And again, we can give y'all links. And the books are really, really short. In fact, Melissa Amos she said she read it like in one day. She loved it. The 5 love languages. This one's so fun too, because I will tell you, some people, we all know that people work harder for praises than raises. So I think everybody appreciates words of affirmation. But just little things like that, y'all. Like, sometimes I might be a shout out on their team page sometimes, and maybe a little thank you card in the mail. Just seeing like words of affirmation, gifts. Gifts are not as strong for me. Like, I don't have to have a gift to feel appreciated, but I know people on my team might. And again, you don't have to go spend a lot of money on a gift. A card in the mail may be something that they would really appreciate. I'm thinking about ways that just makes them feel appreciated and makes them feel like they're a part of something. And we were joking about we may just do make it 4 because one of them is physical touch. But some people, like when I see them in person, that makes them feel appreciated. I hug them and say, hey, I'm so glad to see you, because you don't get to see a ton of your team all the time if you have teams way off everywhere. So just lots of different ways that you can get to know them. It's really just asking questions, asking how they like the information, picking up on languages, picking up if they send short little 1 or 2 sentences, or if they send lots of detail, if they send lots of like messages. I have one sweet level 1 that we talk via like 10 voice messages at a time, like 10 little 1-minute messages. That's just kind of how her schedule and our time works. So the 4 colors, 5 love languages, and then communication. Julia, you want to talk a little bit about different ways to communicate with your level 1s, especially?
Yeah. And I think this is just important to figure this out. If people are natural, like Lindsay was saying, if they want to voice message you, but they never actually want to talk on the phone, you've got to be flexible as a leader to do that. For me, I prefer to talk on the phone. I'm a talker, but I know not everyone. I have level 1s that will not answer the phone. So I have to be flexible that, it might be email and I'm going to email them, and it might be text. It might be Facebook Messenger, but you've got to figure that out. And I'll tell you, when I have a new ambassador, I always ask, like, what form of communication do you prefer? I did this with teachers. Lottie's teacher the other day, I emailed her and she never emailed me back. And finally, when I picked her up, I said, well, and she's like, oh, I don't email. I was like, well, then I need to communicate with you. How do you prefer? So this is just kind of a life lesson. You want to meet people where they're at. You can't, just because you're a texter doesn't mean your team is going to be. So make sure in your leadership that you're flexible to meet your team where they're at. It's kind of like you love them where they're at. You've got to communicate with them the easiest way. Now, as they grow in their leadership, they're probably going to become more flexible. Hopefully, they're going to become more flexible and communicate in different ways. But that's about all I have on communication. I think it's a very simple step, but I think it's very, very important as leaders to figure out how to communicate with others.
And I think I'm finding this too, thinking about like the parallel with your children. The parenting, like you're learning your kids at this age too. It's in that middle age between like 6 and 12, you really are getting to know how their love language is really, but like kind of what their personality. Are they a stronger personality? Are they more passive? Are they more of a in charge? Like to, be the center of attention, kind of like to take charge, like to be in, are they more of they like to help, they like to serve. So it's kind of parallel to that too. Like you're getting to know their personalities, like you're getting to know their strengths, what they're good at. And I love when you find when you kind of tap into one of your teammates, what they're really good at. They might be awesome at organization. They may be amazing at doing quick little videos. They may be so good at communication. And that's so fun because you can fill in the gaps and really utilize what they're really great at. And that helps your team as a whole. So this part's really, really fun. It takes time. Sometimes some people are just natural out of the get-go, you know exactly who they are. And some people it takes a little bit longer to find out kind of where they are. But I know I've said it before, where there's tons of little free quizzes that you can take online that I know you may not love quizzes, but they might help you not just understand you better, but understand, oh gosh, that makes sense. That's why so-and-so does this that way. That makes sense now. And they don't take very long to take, but it just helps you, again, to be more aware of kind of, okay, this makes sense. This is why she needs me to talk to her this way. Kind of like our kids.
Oh, I hear a baby.
Uh-oh.
If you need to go, Lindsay, you can. I can wrap it up if I need to. But this kind of concludes tonight. So I just want to, remind you that this is just one stage of leadership. This is really, like we said, where you've got to be disciplined in yourself with your team. You've got to create that team culture because it's so important. And then, you have to, with everything, you just it continually grows. But with this, so if you feel like, okay, I don't know if I'm here yet, go back and watch Leadership 101. You might be kind of further along. You're like, you know what, I have the disciplines, I've got this, I think I have a good team culture. Well, then you know what, 301 is going to be for you, and we're going to get that together soon and get that out to you. But I love these 10 management tips for great leadership. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I just think it was a great just kind of visual to end this with, because I feel like this could be a training in itself. But make sure that you're just keeping it fun, duplicatable, and simple. Simple and duplicatable is the key here. And if you have any questions, please ask me and Lindsay, and we're going to get this, any supporting information. I know she talked about that little video about John Maxwell. We'll make sure we get that put in the comments and any of the graphics that you need. So hopefully this helped y'all. Thank y'all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all later.